With UFC 262 in the books, despite the range of interesting Fight Night events and other non-UFC shows to look forward to over the course of the coming weeks, we can now begin building to next month's massive UFC 263 fight card, an event that is set to be headlined by the return of the middleweight champion Israel Adesanya, as he looks to defend his title in a rematch against the powerful rising contender Marvin Vettori. Now, these two of course faced off earlier in their respective UFC runs, when neither man had properly established himself within the middleweight crop, and in that fight Vettori certainly made a decent account of himself, turning up the heat late to ensure that Adesanya's last memories of him were as unpleasant as can be. In the end, Israel did enough to come away with a split decision victory, maintaining his unbeaten record while giving Marvin his second defeat under the UFC banner. In the time since, Adesanya would of course continue on to win the UFC middleweight crown, besting Robert Whittaker in a near flawless display of his striking mastery, on his way to his eventual 7-0 run at 185 pounds since taking on the Italian. From there, Adesanya would make a step up in weight, testing the light heavyweight waters by attempting to dethrone the division's champion Jan Blachowicz in a losing effort that, despite not being a devastating loss by any means, left Israel largely nullified for the bout's 5-round duration. Vettori, on the other hand, though a lot less active than Adesanya, managed to single himself out as the next in line for the divisional champion on the back of his own 5-fight win streak, a run of form that was capped off by a back-to-back set of victories over Jack Hermansson and most recently Kevin Holland. So with the fight now booked for the 12th of June, let's take a look at this matchup and how it may play out once the octagon doors close. So I suppose the best place to begin is with the most recent outing from the last stylebender, his loss against Jan Blachowicz, a fight that, while again not devastating to Israel's aura by any means, contained within it moments that no doubt sent many of the middleweight hopefuls' minds racing. Blachowicz is as underrated as they come, both in terms of his technical striking and as a general tactician in there. I honestly thought Jan did fantastically well over the course of the 5 rounds when it came to controlling the tempo on the feet, and eventually through his ability to control the fight's direction with his takedowns. There was a clear difference in physicality between the two, and that of course definitely had an impact on the comparatively more slight Adesanya's ability to get to his feet once Jan had taken him down. With a wrestler of Vettori's credentials now set to welcome him back to the middleweight division, the parallels between Marvin's own route to victory and the approach taken by Blachowicz will likely serve as the biggest threat to Israel ahead of this tie. If one thing was shown to us by Jan over the course of the 5 rounds of action against Izzy, it was that the middleweight champion is a lot more susceptible to takedowns in open space, compared to his excellent defense across the cage. Jan's power shot was there for him in those vital moments where he needed it, and though Vettori doesn't possess Blachowicz's immense physicality, given his own tireless approach to maintaining top control, he likely took a lot of encouragement from what the 205-pound king was able to do to Israel. But as far as the champion's path towards defending his title is concerned, whatever weaknesses that we saw uncovered by Jan should not be overstated, given the strengths that he possesses, especially at middleweight. If you're enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe to the channel now to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads, before leaving a comment to let YouTube's algorithms know that we're fast becoming one of the best MMA channels on the platform. I do think that Adesanya is the type of athlete who will see that defeat to Jan as an opportunity to learn. Though Blachowicz's legendary Polish power was billed heavily in the lead up to this fight, Israel wasn't sparked unconscious. He didn't take any substantial level of damage. And if one thing can be said about his upcoming clash with Vettori with a real level of certainty, it's that Adesanya will hold a massive striking advantage in this matchup. A loss can sting, that's for sure, but in many ways, a defeat like the one Israel encountered last time around will likely do more to our perception of his aura than it will to his own confidence. Previously unbeaten, the sky truly seemed like the limit for Adesanya, as talks of a clash with John Jones and an eventual move to heavyweight began circulating. Indeed, we were guilty of getting a little excited about this clearly great talent, but with him now once again living within the realms of us mere mortals, to underestimate him as a result of our disappointment may well prove to be foolish. I think outside of the newly resurgent Robert Whittaker, Vettori is by far and away the biggest threat to Israel right now. His dominance on the mat comes as a result of his intensity, his high work rate and cardio, and through their first meeting back in 2018, though they are both a lot better now, we learned that Vettori can hang in there with the last stylebender. Now things have of course changed, but in a matchup of the powerful wrestler versus the elite striker, we have seen the top-heavy, smothering approach work wonders on so many occasions in the past. The ability to nullify is a powerful thing within the world of mixed martial arts, and just as we saw through his domination of Kevin Holland, Vettori can make his physicality count, and really make life difficult for the dynamic strikers of this world. Now, will he be able to crack the timing and footwork of Adesanya? Will he be able to avoid the counters, avoid the knees and the laser-precise kicks? These are the questions that will likely define this matchup, but if I had to guess, I do think that this fight has the potential to be a shutout, one way or another. I think whoever can assert themselves early and build confidence will likely have enough in their locker to see this one through, true, I do believe that Marvin Vettori is for real, and coming into this bout, I think he has all of the tools necessary to make this a long and unsuccessful night for the middleweight champion. Now I do see Adesanya bouncing back emphatically, and if I'm forced to make a prediction, I could see him putting together another masterpiece. One that makes the difference between the two on the feet crystal clear. But let's not discount Vettori's ability to make this very, very interesting. Adesanya will be out there looking to make a statement, and if he is overly eager, it won't take much of a misstep for Marvin to put him on his back. But what do you think of this in-form Italian contender as a threat to the dominant middleweight king? And do you think that Israel's somewhat flat showing at 205 pounds will serve to dampen his confidence heading into this defense of his belt? Do let us know in the comments section below. We always love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and a comment before subscribing to the channel now so you can stay up to date with all of our latest uploads. Thank you for watching.